Hey guys, we're at a house I just bought a few weeks ago. It's a craftsman style house, historic home. Really excited about this one. It's near UAB, in Southside Glen Iris area. This house is about 100 years old. It had plaster walls. It was kind of a hoarder situation also. We've taken about 6 dumpsters out of this house, taken it down to the studs, changed the layout completely. We took down multiple walls. It was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. Now it's gonna be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a laundry on the main. A lot of times in these old houses, all the registers and returns are in the floor and they're kind of in terrible locations. So we moved the ductwork to the attic so that they're not all over the floors. One thing with this house is we did decide to keep the windows, so we've spent a lot of time and extra labor on fixing them on the exterior because they're just kind of old and worn out, but they have such a cool look to them, you know? So if you were to replace these windows with all these grids, they would be a fortune. The older houses have old windows which need repair, need replacing when you can. You know, windows are very expensive, so I like to repair them when I can. When we take a wall down, we have to get an engineer to come in and do calcs on what size LVL to put in place of the wall, and that's what this is right here. These LVLs there and right there. It carries the load of the ceiling joists and the roof. It's a cool house though, right? This is one of those houses that you cannot paint the rock on the exterior and things like that. So this is a house that we finished about 2 weeks ago, and we've been working on it for several months. These old houses are kind of, you know, take a long time to remodel, and a lot of issues come with structural problems and things like that. Uneven floors, rotted wood. We had to replace a lot of the exterior siding on this house. The city is kind of strict on what colors you can use on the exterior, and you have to get those approved. In a historic neighborhood, they make you go through a committee on the design of it on the exterior, and you have to get your colors approved. You have to get your doors, your windows, everything approved on the exterior. So when you do things like pull permits, they kind of step in the way and make you get all these things approved. If you give them the right answers by saying you're going to paint it the same color, which is what I did here, I got away without having to go through the neighborhood committee. But a lot of times you have to go through the neighborhood committee first and get them to approve it, and then they contact the people at the city. I've had to do that several times. It's not my favorite thing to do. You have to go to neighborhood meetings and get people excited about it and things like that too. Kind of like, even like with rezoning and things like that, you have to do stuff like that. Dude, we took this thing down to studs, gutted the whole house. It had a wall here, it had a wall over there, in between the living area and the kitchen. The layouts obviously are really bad because how people lived 50 years ago is not necessarily how they live today with you know, open concepts, family rooms. Everything seems to be focused more in one area of the house now and not the little bitty sections of the house. The dining room was a bedroom on the main level. We took that out and kind of made it an open dining room area. We changed this kitchen, obviously, completely around. It was 2 rooms and it had a laundry over there and a bathroom over there. It's had a lot of love put in this house, a lot. About the week before COVID hit, I had it under contract for $220. And then, you know, I pride myself on never backing out of deals. I actually backed out of this deal the week that COVID came out because I didn't know how the market was gonna go and I felt like I was overpaying for it. And then the seller had another buyer already lined up at $220, so I felt okay about it. That seller actually, his buyer backed out also, maybe about a month later, and then he called me and said, just what will you give me for it? And I said, I'll give you $180. And he took the $180. It took literally 4 or 5 months on this house, but we took all the plaster off the walls, we jacked up floors, we put in quite a few LVLs, we put in a lot of steel underneath the house to kind of level things up. Had an engineer come in, had a structural company come in and fix that. We had it waterproofed. The plaster on the walls, you have to remove those a lot of times if you're going to wire them. It's really hard to rewire those houses without just pulling everything off. It's hard to patch the walls back. These houses are a pain, honestly, and I feel like one reason I like doing these houses, though, I feel like it's a part of Birmingham's history, and I kind of like that part, but there's no other satisfaction from it at all. They are a pain. We had an open house Saturday, and it went under contract yesterday at noon. This one took a few weeks to sell. I think we went active probably 2.5 weeks ago, and we had one price reduction of 10 grand, and then it attracted a buyer. My rule is if a house hasn't gotten an offer after 12 showings, it's either priced too high or it's got a problem. So I try to figure out what that problem is, or I reduce the price. That's what a bunch of flippers a bunch of other investors might mess up on, is they'll hold on to a property just holding on to hope, right, that it'll sell. And I just don't want to waste my time. If it's 12 is the magic number, and if 12 people have seen it and haven't made an offer, it's priced too high. It did turn out pretty cool, didn't it? So this upstairs was a 4-bedroom. This was 2 bedrooms, and it had a walkout balcony on this roof. That was really not the best idea, so I just tore that off. It had handrails on top of this balcony. We removed that. On an older house, like a Craftsman style house or even older, I'll try to do 1 buys on the trim, 1 buys on the baseboard. Everything's kind of square. These are original hardwood floors. These floors upstairs are pine, and the hardwoods downstairs are oak. And that's pretty common in these old houses too. The pine is cheaper, and I really don't know why they did pine. It sold, and it made probably 70 grand in profit, which is a great thing. Laundry's up here. I look at the amount of money I'm investing. I look at the amount of time we're investing, how many resources I'm having to invest. Like, am I gonna have a crew at this house for multiple months? I wanna make a little bit more, you know? So I've been fortunate in houses that were real easy to make good margins, and I've had houses like this that took half a year to do and I didn't make anything. So, but yeah, my expectations kind of depend on the involvement of the house.